Hi guys, welcome back for our second video on using Canvas as a primary teacher. My focus today is going to be 3 different methods for making buttons or banners if you wanted to make your own. You can go on numerous different places and find free ones or buy ones if you want on TPT, I'm sure. But if you're looking to make your own buttons, I'm going to show you 3 different methods. There are lots of different ways to make them, but I'm going to show you 3 ways that you can. And my focus is not just teaching you how to use the different tools in Canvas, but how to adapt them to fit even our youngest learners down to my kindergartners and even pre-K kids, to make it accessible for everyone and as easy as possible. Okay, so what you're seeing up here is my current homepage. I'm not finished with it yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing e-learning or in the classroom. So this is my web page or my homepage for if I'm in the classroom, something that we can use as a homework resource for parents and also classroom use. But you see I have a banner up at the top. My welcome Ms. Backstrom's class, and then I have all different buttons, colorful buttons down here. And for our youngest kiddos, I think it's really important to put pictures on the buttons also, which is why I custom made my own buttons. Just so that since they are not readers, most of them yet, they can see that, oh, the ABC means I'm going to be doing letters and sounds. Oh, there's sight word cards. There's a book for story time. There's the Starfall logo and the Boom Cards logo and a plus sign for math and so on. So basically, buttons are our link from our homepage to wherever the student is navigating for their coursework or for their homework or whatever you're going to put on there. The buttons can link to quizzes. They can link to assignments that they can do. If you're choosing to do pages, which is what I'm thinking for my kindergartners, rather than doing modules, I'm just going to connect separate pages to each of them just to make it easy. Buttons are how they're going to navigate back and forth between the pages. If you're choosing to do modules, buttons are what you're going to click on, your students will click on to get to the module. So no matter how you're setting up your page, buttons are their navigation tool to get from one thing to another. Now you're currently looking at my view, which is almost the same as a student view, except the students won't have all of these things over here. And if you notice on the side, I have all of these links over here. For a kindergarten teacher, that looks like an absolute nightmare for kids to be able to click on all of these different things. So you see that they're crossed off. That's because when I go into student view, they will no longer be there. And you'll see once it pops up that their view has just announcements, because I think it's important to have announcements there and due dates for parents, but also they only have a home button over here. I've taken off all those links, and my first video showed you how to take those links off. If you're not sure, go back and check that out. I'm going to leave student view right now, and just less is more for all these links over here. So we're going to do a couple different ways to make buttons. Now, if you're saying, oh my goodness, I don't want to go into Photoshop, I don't want to go into anything and have to think about it, I just want something quick, something easy, I don't care if there's pictures on it or not, then one option is this awesome website that I found called The Button Factory. And it was actually on a Canvas Facebook page. Somebody posted it, and it's DA Button Factory. And it's a free way to make buttons. When you open it up, this is what it looks like. And there's a whole bunch of ads and things that pop up, but just if you ignore those, in the middle is where your button's going to be. On the side, you're going to type in your text. So if I'm making a Monday button and say I'm doing e-learning and I want to set it up by days, I'm going to do Monday. Once I click enter, now it's going to change that button to Monday. I can change the font on here. So if I want it to go to this font, if I want to bold it, I can change the size of it. Now, here's an important part. I know on our district's guidelines for how to set up your homepage, they suggest doing a size of 524 by 292 for the buttons. What that means is right down here where it says button size, you want to go to fixed. That way, all of your buttons on your homepage are the same size, unless for some reason you want one to be bigger than the others. But make sure you click on fixed so that they don't come in all wonky when you import them into Canvas. So I'm going to do 524, and I'm going to do my height of 292, which is what they suggested putting on there. And let's see. So now there's my button, and you can see once I make that size bigger, the text gets really small. So I'm going to have to go over here and adjust my size of my text. I can probably go up to about 100 and get a little closer. Now, if you wanted a rounded rectangle, if you want to fully curve the sides, you can change your buttons however you want on here. There's a whole bunch of options, different colors. I can do kind of a blue color. If I want to do a border on it, I can put that border on and I can make it thicker or thinner. Okay, so basically there's my button that I made. If I'm happy with all my choices, all I have to do is click download. And there it pops up at the bottom of my screen down here. And now I'm going to make this window smaller so I can show you. Just grab it and throw it on your desktop, throw it in a folder, wherever you need to put it. And then go back. If you want them all the same color and the same everything, then all you have to do is change your text. And it'll change for each and every one, then go down, download it, and so on. If you want to change the color for each one, then go and change the color. But every time you just hit download, it goes down to the bottom. And then you can just take that download and drag it onto your desktop or into a folder, wherever you're keeping your buttons. So the Button Factory is a really simple, quick, easy way to do it with a whole bunch of options. It does not have the option to put a picture on it. So if you're looking to put picture clues for it, this isn't the way to go. But if you need something easy, you need something fast, or you like just the text on it, this is a really good option. Okay, so there's the Button Factory. Go back to mine now. Another way is through Google. If you have Google Drive, and if you don't have it, it's an awesome tool, and you can link so many things from Google Drive onto Canvas. So I would suggest using a Google Drive and signing up for one. It's free. But if you have it already, you might have this on there, you might not. It's called Google Drawings, and it's an extension. So you can check on your Google Drive whether it's already on there before you do this next step. But if it's not, all you have to do is type in Google Drawings, click on Google Drawings Chrome extension, and you're going to literally launch the app and download it. I don't know if there's a download button. I've already downloaded it, so it might just say launch the app for me. But if it says download, download it. It is not going to come up anywhere else except for in your Google Drive. So after you've downloaded Google Drawings, and just as a side note, this way to make buttons can be done through Google Slides. I just like Google Drawings better. It has more options for me. It can also be done through PowerPoint. You can go through Photoshop and do this. There's lots of different ways. But let me show you through Google Drawings. Here's my Google Drive that I have. When I click on New, I'm going to go down. Here's Google Slides. If I go to More down here, it's this little red one, Google Drawings. And it's going to come up with basically a blank canvas with the checker marked background means that it's a transparent background. There's no color on it whatsoever. You can add that if you would like to, but you don't have to. So your first step if you're making buttons is to go down to File and Page Setup. It's going to be set at standard. You want to go down to Custom. And for a button, about 3x1 should work fine. You want to make sure that all the buttons are the same size unless you purposely want one bigger, or else it's going to be a little wonky on your page. So once I click Apply, there's my slide. And what I can do now is I can go up and insert a shape. And you can do any shape you want. If you want them square buttons, you can do rectangular buttons, you can do a rectangle. But I tend to like the curved corners a little better. So I'm going to start not quite to the edge, but close to it. And I'm going to drag my cursor across. And I'm going to make the outline of my button right there. And if it's not perfect, you can kind of play around with it. So there you go. So far, you have the beginning of your button. Up here, I can go in and I can change the background color. So maybe I like that color. If for some reason you don't like those colors, you can come up here and you can choose different ones. Another awesome thing with it is if you don't want that really bold blue color, you can come down here and you can lessen the transparency, and it's going to make it a little bit more see-through the further over you go. If you go all the way over, you're not going to be able to see it. But I'm going to leave it at blue for now. Right next to the fill color, there's a border color, and maybe I'll do a darker blue for my border. I can make my border thicker by doing that and make it a thicker bordered button. But I think I'm going to go, I think that's a little too much for me, maybe at 2. All right, so there's the start of my button. I have my background. You can do a whole bunch of different things with the background, but we're going to leave it at that for now. You can kind of play around with it. Next, I want to go up to a text box, click on there, and I'm going to come to the corner of my button and drag it across. Okay, now inside, I'm going to make a Monday button. And I'm going to highlight my text because I don't want Arial. I like that love you like a sister. And if the fonts that you like are not on here, click on more fonts and it'll give you a whole list of them to put on here. I don't think love you like a sister was on there originally. I had to add that one. So I'm going to go to maybe 60, and that might be a little bit too big. So I'm going to go in and change that down to 50. Okay, and I'm going to center it so it stays in the center of my text box. And I'm going to grab it and I'm going to slide up. And you can kind of play around with it until you get it where you want it. Okay, so if you're happy with that, how it is, you're happy with your color of text, you can leave it. I like more colorful and poppy for kindergarten, but whatever you want. If you want to change the text color, you can go right here. If I want to change the M, I know on mine I used this where I did different colors for different letters. You can go through and kind of play around with it however you want to change it. Now, one thing that I will show you once I finish changing the colors now that I started, you can also do a couple more things with it to make it a little bit more fun, maybe orange, and my last one, we'll do dark blue. Okay, so now if you want to, you can go over here and click on Format Options, and on this side, there's a whole bunch of options for rotating things. You can add a drop shadow to it if you would like. Make sure that you have it selected so it's not quite as see-through and there's kind of a shadow behind it. I tend to like that, but you can do it however you want. Now, here's the part why I like this better than, for me, better than the Button Factory, because my youngest kiddos are going to need those pictures. They need something imported. So I'm going to quick show you how to import a picture. You're going to go to Insert, Image, and you can search the web on here. They have filtered pictures. Just look for transparent images so that they're see-through. If you can't find transparent images, there is a way to make them transparent, and I'll show you really quick in just a moment. But if you have files already saved on your computer, hit from computer, and in a moment it's going to pop up, and maybe I want my little Bitmoji person on there. I probably wouldn't do this. This wouldn't really help my kids on here, but just to show you how you can kind of throw an image on there to make it however you want. Now, I said I would show you how to remove the background if you're on here. And let's see, I'm going to go to Insert. And what I mean by this is if I have an image that I've found that's like an apple. And I know these don't go along with the Monday theme at all, but they're just some pictures that I had. Now, if you notice, it has that white background on it. Now, when I'm putting it on white, that'll be fine. But if it's on this blue background, it's not going to look great. So what you can do is any image that has a background on it that you want to remove, you can go to this website Removebg, and it is pretty awesome. So let me pull up my image of that apple. All you have to do is take your image, drag it over, drop it in, give it a second to work its magic, and now the whole background is removed. If you want to edit and it removes something that you didn't want, you can restore part of it with a brush, or if it didn't erase everything that you wanted, you can erase it with the brush. But if you're happy with how it came out, all you have to do is click download, and right down here it's going to pop up. Let me minimize this. It's going to pop up right here, and now that white background is going to be gone. So when I go into my drive and, oh, where did that go? There we go. There's what I was working on. Okay, so when I go over here and I want to import it, now it's going to show up on that background with no white background behind it. Okay, and that website is really cool. It's just remove.bg. It works awesome if you're going crazy with the white backgrounds on things. It's a quick and easy way. Okay, but I'm going to take these images out for right now. That's how you would add an image if you wanted to. When you're all finished and you're really happy with what you have, you can go up to File, first title it, and I'm going to title it Monday. Okay. You're going to go to File. You're going to then go to Download, and you can download it either as a JPEG or a PNG. Okay, those are the two files that will easily go into Canvas. I'm going to do PNG, and then again, it's going to download right at the bottom down there, and I can take that Monday button and put it in my folder on my desktop, however I want it. Quick and easy. This works exactly the same for a banner, except the banner size is going to be different when you make a banner. I'd say about 9x3 is a good size. So if you want to make a banner instead of a button, again, you're going to go to page setup, which I have to scroll down for. And then you're going to go to custom. It'll be set on standard when you open a new one. You want to go to custom, and you would just type in 9x3 and apply. Okay, and then you can fill in your banner. If it needs to be smaller width-wise, height-wise, you can scrunch that down, but don't scrunch down your length too much because it will not fit on the Canvas page as well if you're scooching it down. It does auto-adjust a little bit, but you want to be pretty close to 3 times the size of your buttons to make it fit really well so you don't have the headache of playing around with it later. Okay, so on there, that's basically how you do it. I can take this document. If I don't want to save it into my Google Drive, I can just change the text on it. I can change this to Tuesday now, and I've got my button already, my background already. If you want to save it, and then you can go to File and make a copy. That way you already have this whole outline ready for you to change text and color and things like that. Okay, so there's the Button Factory, there's Google Drawings. You can do the same exact process in Google Slides. You can do the same exact type of process in PowerPoint if you have PowerPoint on there. The controls are going to be a little bit different in PowerPoint, but it's the same idea. I just tend to like Google Drawings better than the PowerPoint, and it has a little more options for me than the Google Slides. So there is a third thing I wanted to show you. Those are 2 ways to make buttons. You can also go through PowerPoint. Originally, when I made my buttons before I started playing around with those 2, I used a Photoshop type program to make mine. But you can get the same type of effect with one of those, with the Google Drawings or Google Slides or things like that. One more option is, for example, if you want to add text to something and you just want it to be a different font, because on Canvas there are not many fun fonts to choose from. So if you want to do a certain font for a heading or something like that, there is another option, and let me show you what that is. If I go into here, oh no, hang on. No, it's not in there. It's right here. Okay, what I did was I created a Word document, give it a chance to hop up or pop up. So I did a little Word document and I just chose a font. So maybe I want the word welcome. I don't want to go through Google Slides. I don't want to do all that. You can put text, and it can be any text. It can be directions. It can be anything that you're typing in that you want to insert into one of your pages. If you want a certain font for it, you can go on and do it however you want. And then you're going to use, I think on HP, it's called Snip and Sketch, and it's this little icon down here. I pinned mine there, but where you're going to find it if you've never used it before is right in the startup menu. And it's under the S, and it's Snip and Sketch. It's right there. I know on my Dell laptop, my personal laptop, it's called a snipping tool, and it has a pair of scissors and a circle. So either one, it's going to be in your startup menu. So what you can do with that is to have that come up, you're just going to click New. It's going to give you a little cursor. You're going to make sure that you go around all of the text that you want. Okay. And voila, it's going to make a picture of it for you. And you can save that. Maybe. You can save it right to maybe your desktop, however you want to save it. I'm going to just name it Welcome. And okay, and then I can close out of that. Close this down, and there's Welcome. There's my image that I can put in, and that can even be a button. Now, it will come up with whatever background you have on there. So if you have a white page like I did and you snipped it, it's going to come up with a white background when you put it onto Canvas. Now, if you want to remove that background, all you have to do is go in. Let me see if I can, I have so many windows open. You can go in, you can go to that Removebg and take your welcome and drop it in, and it is going to remove the background for you, and now you have a new image. I download it, throw it on my desktop. Oop, it's not ready yet. There we go. Throw it on my desktop, and now you can see that this one has a white background. This one does not. Okay, so hopefully that helps. In the next video that I do, I'm going to show you how to import and link all these buttons, how to build your homepage. So hopefully you found this helpful and learn some new things, or maybe it's a little bit more functional for you and seems a little bit more doable for you, especially for those teachers looking for a way to adapt it to our younger learners, where you can import those pictures into your buttons and things like that. All right, well, hope to see you next time, where I'll show you how to build your homepage with those buttons that we created. All right, thanks. Bye-bye.